learning how to use this. Worn to death. How did I do that? I think it's pretty cool. Gotten around to washing them. Hello, so I want to do something a little bit different this week. My wrist is getting kind of tired from crocheting so much. It just flares up now when I've been doing it for too long. So I wanted to take a little bit of a break, and I'm sure you have noticed the big machine on my desk. I'm gonna try and sew something. So I have done a couple sewing attempts recently off camera just to try and re-familiarize myself with the sewing machine, because I technically learned when I was like 16 and I wasn't very good at it. I just constantly forgot how the machine worked. But yeah, I wasn't the best at it, so I just kind of stopped and forgot. And then at one point I thought I broke the sewing machine, and that kind of freaked me out. So I haven't really touched sewing since then, but now I'm like more like a proper adult, so I feel like I should be able to handle learning how to use this. Again, I've sewn just like a couple of things, so I want to try doing something a little bit more complicated but still super simple. I also might in this video add in, I've been needing to wash my like handmade crochet stuff because I haven't really done that, and it's just gotten to a point where like they need to be washed. I've been wearing them too much, so like they need to be washed, and it's going to be in the 90s in a couple days, so I feel like that's a good day to do it because then the natural heat will help to dry the items. So, and I'm also home alone, so it's easier to just lay things out everywhere without worrying about getting in my partner's space. So yeah, so that's the plan. That's this video. But the sewing project. So since I'm not the most familiar with sewing, I don't really want to mess up anything where I like have to go out and buy fabric. But I have some old shirts that I honestly at this point primarily use to sleep in that have holes in very oddly specific places. I don't know if this happens to anyone else, but for some reason a lot of my shirts get holes in the armpits, and I don't know how this happens. It's specifically like my sleeping shirts that get it really bad. But yeah, I don't know how that happens, but for some reason they just got really bad holes. And I have this one shirt that I absolutely love. I have worn to death. It is this like really big green Cannon Beach shirt. So, but the holes are just terrible in the armpit. I'm sure you can see some of the thread coming out of it. I have tried like patching these several times, and it just comes undone each time. So, but I was hand sewing rather than using the sewing machine. So I have a new thought though. I saw this video that Kathleen Illustrated made recently where she sewed these patches into the side of some of her shirts, and I thought that was really cool, and I could do a variety of that or something similar to that to fix up the patches of this shirt that need to be fixed. So especially since it is in that armpit region, I feel like doing something like that could help to fix the holes, and then I could wear these shirts again, which would be amazing. So essentially the thought is, since this shirt is so aggressively long, like extremely long, I have enough space where I could crop it and it would still be a nice length of a shirt. And granted, I also like to crop a bunch of my t-shirts anyway. I just prefer that fit, which is funny since I'm not wearing a crop t-shirt today, but you know, I like both. I like either a crop shirt or an aggressively large shirt. Don't really like the in-between. So, but since this one is on the more aggressively large side, I figure I could crop it and then use that fabric to patch up the holes in the armpits. But I also thought it could be fun to possibly make some sort of checkerboard pattern in the side of the shirt. And to do that, I have a bunch of these offcuts from when I cropped t-shirts, because like I said, I crop probably 70% of my t-shirts that I get just because I prefer that silhouette on myself typically. So I have a bunch of like fabric that I could use, and if I take offcuts from this combined with some of this, I could make a fun checkerboard pattern. But yeah, I saw like a while ago on TikTok a method of how to like sew a checkerboard pattern. So I'm gonna try doing that and we'll see how it goes. I'm not sure how many colors I want to add into it. Granted, most of these are like cream or gray or green, so it won't have the most variety, which honestly, it's fine. I don't want it to be super crazy anyway, but I still think it could be fun to have that. And then I would have this fun like checkerboard pattern along the side of this t-shirt that I absolutely love, and I could hopefully actually wear it again. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try patching this up. I've never done this before. I've only done simple sewing things, so I'm hoping this doesn't become a complete disaster. But yeah, that is the plan. That's what I'm gonna do. And hopefully this all goes well and goes according to plan. So yeah, first step, I'm going to crop the t-shirt, and then I need to figure out how big the panels need to be, and we'll go from there, figure out how to do the checkerboard pattern. I think this is gonna be good, so I'm really excited. I will check in again, do a little more chatting when I have done more of it. I forgot to mention I have a giant bruise on my leg, so if you see that, don't be alarmed. I got it from the Ateez concert because I hopped over a chair and I didn't realize how much I smacked it, so I promise all is good, nothing bad happened, so it's my own fault. But if you see that, that's what that is. Anyways, I'm gonna go work on this, so see you soon. And of course, as soon as I was ready to start, Appa decided to sit right on top of it, but she quickly got off, and I started off by measuring how large the holes were so I knew how long I needed to make the side panels. To cover the entire area, it was about 6 inches long, so I decided that the strips I would cut out would be about 7 inches long in order to allow for some seam allowance. And then from there, used that 6 inches that I measured and decided that that was how much I was going to crop off from the bottom, because originally I thought that I was going to use this green fabric for the side panel checkers, but I ended up deciding not to include it in this upcycle. After all the measuring, it took me so long to try and understand what I needed to do from there. I was stuck trying to calculate and figure out how I would make this all work. I eventually landed on making the strips about 7 by 2 inches. I figured that would be a good measurement and again add some seam allowance. And then from there, since the panel needed to be so big, I started getting like a little bit concerned that I was going to start getting too much into the front of the shirt, but ultimately it all worked out completely fine, and I was absolutely overthinking this entire process. I even then took just as long to pick out the fabric that I wanted to use for these side panels. I ended up settling on a gray, orange, and then dark green. And then with all the logistics figured out, all I needed to do was cut out the panels and the strips of fabric, and I could start sewing. Okay, I'm gonna be so honest. This is taking me so much longer than I thought it would. I have fought with my machine multiple times. I got a couple jams. At one point, fully had fabric jammed in the like track here, which actually I should probably turn this off so I don't accidentally stab myself. But I have finished one like strip of the cup. I did it wrong? How did I do that? Wait, what? So I don't know how I did this, but I somehow... How did I do that? Somehow I have it like orange, green, orange here, and it's supposed to be going like green, gray, orange. So I don't know what happened there or how I messed that up. Because I laid it all out and it wasn't like that, but I guess it must have been. Well, it's fine. It's fine. Is it what I wanted? No. But I think it's going to be fine because now what I'm going to do is I'm going to now cut, now that this is all, together, I'm going to cut this into strips and then like flip them around so that it checkerboards itself. So it's fine. It's fine that happened. It's not a big deal. It's going to be a patchworky shirt anyway, so like it's fine, but that was fully unintentional. So, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do the same exact colorway and pattern on the other side. I don't know if I'm going to have them matching or not. We'll see. So yeah, oops, my bad. Love discovering that while on camera. So I'm going to go ahead, cut these into strips, and then we'll go from there. So So I cut the sewed panel into thirds, and then from there I flipped the center panel so that the colors would be staggered in that more checkerboard pattern and sewed them together. So it's been a couple of days. I wasn't able to finish this on Friday, and I just wanted to take a couple days off because honestly, this is kind of melting my brain just a little bit since I haven't really done this before. It's definitely difficult. I also realized after I had sewed some of it that I got the pattern wrong in one spot. I somehow like doubled up on colors or something. So the checker isn't looking the best, but I have finished one half of it so far, and I think it does look really cool. So I now just need to make the other half of this so that it's not, just open. But I think this is fun. It's working out really nice. I'm not sure if this will become a shirt that I wear outside of the house, but at least for like a sleep shirt, I feel like it works pretty well. So yeah, that's what I'm doing now. And if anything, this is just inspiring for like other possible upcycles in the future, to make something similar to this, do this like checkerboard sort of pattern. I think it's pretty cool. So doing this on something else or just doing it again would be fun. So, and I think this is a good way to like reuse this shirt because I've really missed wearing this shirt. So now that I have this, hopefully I'll actually be able to wear it. So, but yes, the plan today is I'm going to be working on that other half. I still have some strips left over from when I was making the first section of it. So I should hopefully have enough of that. I might have to cut a couple more strips. We'll see. So I'll just be sewing those up. And yeah, that's the plan. I have been putting this off for a really long time, but I really need to wash my handmade crochet pieces. I haven't done that really in a long time, and it needs to happen. That's, I think, the plan. But first, I want to get some sewing done, and then we will see if I get to washing stuff. We'll see. I keep putting this project off, so we'll see if I keep doing that. But I'm hoping sometime within this week I'm going to get that done because it's going to be 95 for another couple of days. So, but first, let's go ahead and start sewing this guy up. Yeah, let's see how many strips I have, and we'll go from there. Now I just went ahead and repeated all the steps I did for the first half since I had already done it once before. It was much easier to do this time, and I was able to get it done relatively quickly. So I just finished sewing up that top, but I'm sure you're wondering, why I'm filming more, and that's because I'm finally gonna go and wash my handmade stuff. Now I have a large stack of handmade things, which honestly I probably should grab. So here it is, this massive stack. This is my most worn, oh my goodness, crochet pieces, and I just haven't gotten around to washing them, which means they really need to be washed. So that is what I'm going to do. I have this big bin, and I'm just going to fill it up with some water and detergent and let them soak in it for 15 minutes. I don't think I'm going to do them all at once. I'm going to do a couple batches, and then I'll just be wringing it up in a towel and letting them sit out to dry. So yeah, that's the plan, and I figure today is a good day to do it because it's going to be 95 today and will be in the 90s the next several days. So it has plenty of time to dry out. But yeah, I would take you with me to, talk while I started this process, but there is a fan in my bathroom that I can't turn off. So figured that here would be the best spot for me to explain what I'm going to be doing. But yeah, that's it. So I need to fill this up with water. I'll let things soak in there for 15 minutes, and then I'll start the wringing out process. So it's probably going to take a while because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. I have 7 pieces that I need to wash. So this is going to take a bit, but it's time. It really needs to happen. So then I can happily wear these pieces throughout the coming fall and winter. So, all right, no more stalling. Off to wash stuff. So let them soak for about 15 minutes and then wrung them out. And this is where things took a bit of a turn. I wasn't expecting them to retain as much water as they did. So I ended up kind of abandoning this plan after only washing a few things. So it is the next day and the shirt is now complete. I think this turned out really cool. I really like how this side panel design came out. I think it's really fun. Now I will note, I don't even know for sure right now if I'm including this in the video. The washing of my handmade stuff was a little bit of a disaster. Not in the fact, like, everything is still intact, so nobody worry about that. Nothing got destroyed, but I didn't realize how much water I really had to wring out. And even though I started this around I started washing them around 1, 2 p.m. yesterday, and it was 95 degrees outside, and I put them outside. They are still wet this morning. So I did pull them in because I didn't want them sitting out on my patio overnight because there are a bunch of like birds and squirrels that like to hop around there in the early morning. So didn't exactly want them hopping around my handmade stuff. But I just put them back out there now. So I'm hoping that by the end of today, those will be dry. But yeah, I did not get through that massive stack of stuff. I literally washed my sweater vest, or one of my sweater vests, one of my sweaters, and one of my scarves. And that was it, because I reached my limit very fast. So, but now I know, yeah, maybe not the best idea, and also probably not the best idea when I am home alone, so I don't have my partner to help with arm strength to wring out the stuff gently. So lesson learned, but I'm still happy that those are clean, and I'm excited to have them clean for the like fall winter season. So that will be nice. And yeah, I will wash those other stuff a different way. So, but back to the shirt. I really like how this turned out. I think that the pattern is really cool. I think I didn't register that when I was going to flip the middle section, that the having it be 3 colors somehow still meant that the third color, the orange, was always going to line up. I don't know how that happened because that was not intentional, but I think it's kind of fun. It breaks up the like checkerboard pattern, so I think that's fun. The other thing I would note is obviously my sewmanship is not the best, so I am just teaching myself how to do this, so I don't really know what I'm doing, but I still think that this turned out really cool. And then the last thing that I will note is having this much stitching under my arm is mildly irritating. So it's a little bit itchy. So I'm hoping that like once I like give it a good wash that it'll soften, like the edges will soften a bit, but at least for now it like is like stabbing my arm a little bit and it's not the most comfortable. So yeah, so outside of my sewing and the uncomfortable seams, I think this is fun. So I'm gonna try, I think, wearing it out and about when it cools down a bit, just because it's still gonna be like in the 90s for the next couple of days, and I don't exactly want to wear a full t-shirt when it's 90s out, but I will probably wear it soon, and I'm excited. So I'm excited to have this shirt back in my rotation because it has been out of rotation for a very long time. So now that it is fixed up, I actually feel comfortable wearing it out. So that's really nice. And yeah, now I also kind of want to do this to other shirts. I have another shirt that I really like that I haven't been able to wear as well. So maybe I'll try fixing that one up also. So we'll see what happens, but thank you all for coming along with me on this sewing journey. I'm still learning what I'm doing, so I know I probably made so many mistakes, and if you know how to sew, you're probably screaming at me in the comments. I know. I will learn over time how to do all this and get more proper tools once I start sewing more and more, but I'm really happy with where this landed and as my first like real like bigger project. So, and it just is inspiring me to do more sewing. So we'll see where that goes in the future, what I'll be up to. But yeah, thank you all for being here. If there is anything else you want to see from me, just let me know down below. Make sure to like and subscribe and everything, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye! I've been wearing them. I primarily used to sleep. That for some reason, oh my gosh, sorry, a white car just blinded me as it drove past. Oh my gosh. Careful. Oh my gosh, it is genuinely so hot. We're having our August heat wave right now, and it is awful. It is so awful. I'm excited for fall. I'm so excited for fall. Oh my gosh, I love fall so much, and I'm so ready for it. So hopefully, again, by the time this is posted, it's feeling more like fall, because that sounds wonderful. Anyway, I will see you all in the next one. Hope you're all doing well. Goodbye.